Good afternoon and welcome to the Denver Business Beat podcast. It's December the 16th and my name is Arica Netterville, your hostess, and my special good Judy is Adrianna Muñoz. How are you doing today?
I am so excited to be here. Honestly, delighted.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for having me on. I'm just delighted to be here.
I'm so happy that you're on the show today. You and I are very similar in our LinkedIn presence and our social media. Content. So we're going to be getting all up into this interview today. And ladies, especially my ladies, you're going to have takeaways today. And there's going to be a little special something that just recently got launched just for you. So stay tuned. Let's get into it. And you doing okay? You got here okay? Everybody was good?
Oh yeah, this is a beautiful facility. So easy to find.
Thank you so much. We have been doing a huge remodel here at Heart. And I'm just grateful and thankful they gave me a little space to do my business podcast at. Our CEO and leadership and all the staff here is wonderful. And we've gone through the last few weeks of painting and just all the fumes and everything you could imagine. But we're almost at the finish line and it's looking real good. So we're going to get up into this podcast this afternoon. I want you to tell us a little bit about your current company, your position in that company, and exactly what you have a passion for doing.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you again for having me on. I'm just delighted to be here. And that's such a great question because my business and my passion are just like, they're one and the same. Mm-hmm. So my background is critical care nursing and leadership. I have been mentoring talent, formally coaching talent for several years, and I found that was always my favorite part of the job. Mm-hmm. So when I was a frontline manager and then I was a senior manager, the best days I had were when I was able to walk away knowing that I helped somebody change their mindset around something that was really challenging. And I saw when I was new to management that I didn't a lot of times get the skills that I really needed to do the job well. I was told I needed to have employee one-on-ones. I had great bosses, but I didn't know how to structure those meetings. I didn't know how to give effective feedback. I didn't know how to set boundaries with work. I was burnt out. And if you're a woman listening to this, this is a very common thing. I think that there's studies around this. I could talk ad nauseum, but this isn't about that. But it's something I'm very passionate about. It's helping people who step into leadership roles in any capacity, specifically women, not lose themselves in the day-to-day. So they're not working 60-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks. And I founded my company, Ogden Peak, for that reason. I saw this problem trending, and I think that women in leadership would benefit tremendously from a coach that is niche to what they need. So the way I help people is through one-on-one coaching or group coaching, and my slogan for my company, Ogden Peak, is I help women with big brains solve big problems. Because women in leadership, you've worked really hard to get there, you got a big brain, and you don't need to be stuck in the minutia grunt work. Let's help you strategize your time and make waves and get rid of the headache of leadership. So that's what I'm about. Yeah.
We need all of that. I was working up till 7 o'clock last night. My clients through the week, Monday through Friday, can get me from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And that's because we deal with property managers and GCs and jobs and stuff, and they're just working too. So a big, huge job came through that I was really excited about, and I called my CEO, and we're having a conversation at 7:30. You could hear dinner in the background, and I'm like, you know what? We're still working. That passion, that excitement.
Yes.
For me, I'm a lioness. I love going out and getting a gazelle that day. Mm-hmm. I love the blood in my mouth, and I'm just going to be completely frank and honest with you. I am very passionate about getting new clients, about taking good care of my clients, and sometimes that, just like you, runs into my real life and my social media and my LinkedIn especially. There's such a merge, and a couple of my good girlfriends have been asking me lately, and you might have started doing this too, Arica, we see so much of your corporate life and your busy business life, but we need to see a little splash of you. So I've been doing girls' nights and photos with my girlfriends, and we're out at the karaoke club just having a blast and putting those on there. And then Monday I look at the impressions and it's 1,485, and sometimes it'll topple my real business stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, but that's what I need, those numbers looking at that. So LinkedIn is an interesting beast. It's something that we all have to have, and your LinkedIn LinkedIn is like beautiful, hands down, because
Oh my gosh,
your content is so incredible, and you watch your videos, you hear your passion, you see exactly
Wow.
what your drive is, and it's beautiful. So woman to woman, I appreciate you, and I appreciate that hustle. And you know, as women, we have to hustle sometimes even harder. Sometimes a man gets lucky and it's a handshake and he's off to the executive bathroom and his own office and his own coffee bar. And women have to really work hard to get to that same space and that same salary. So hats off to you for killing it, slaying it, doing it. You are on it. And I just, every time I see you at the chamber or at a networking event, we get those few little minutes and share that energy, and then we're back off to our thing. So I don't really get to sit down with you and just have this time, and that's what we're going to do, and this is going to be forever. So what was the educational path that led you to where you're sitting at today?
Oh, it is so twisty turny. Oh my gosh. So I thought I wanted to be an executive of a company. Like, I was frontline nursing and healthcare, and I actually thought I wanted to be a nurse practitioner. I really, so I was in a doctoral program, and the deeper I got into it, I realized that I wanted to impact change on a bigger level. And being a nurse practitioner, it's amazing. You get to see people one-on-one. There's a lot of other opportunities, but I was like, my favorite part of the job was talking to my peers. My favorite part of the job was influencing change. And I was like, you know, I think I want to go more of a leadership route. So I switched those credits, and everybody thought I was crazy because they're like, you have a full ride to get into a doctoral program. And I was just like, my intuition was like, do something different. And so I went and I got my master's degree in nursing with a focus on leadership. So I have a certification in that. That took like a ton of credit hours. I mean, anybody who's gone to higher education, you know, it's like, you have to figure it out, but you make it work, and that was wonderful. And so I have a master's degree, but to be an executive coach, I actually hold certifications in coaching as well. So there's a code of ethics that I adhere to, values, and I have like a higher board of the ICF that I report to as well. So I'm always learning. I'm always trying to continue my education into like coaching and connecting with people. And then I also have another certification that's big in strategy called a lean methodology. And it's all about process and strategy. So if I have a client that comes to me and they're like, I feel like the processes of my company are always really wonky. I don't know how to get these teams to talk to each other. I have a certification in something that I could introduce them to help them impact their team as well. So it's just always ongoing education to help people the best I can, and just make sure that I'm providing full service to any client that I take on, whether that's individuals or companies as well. So it's been twisty turny, so there's no direct journey, I guess.
If you were to have a conversation with somebody wanting to get into the same field that you are in, what would be some mentoring aspects that you would give them to getting into coaching, especially in your field?
Oh, I love that. And it's so funny, I had this conversation with somebody recently who wants to get into coaching, and I think the biggest thing is like, you don't need a master's degree. You don't need a lot of the education that I've done. I think the biggest thing is having a track record and experience of what you're coaching to. The reason I help women is because I'm a woman with leadership experience. So I wouldn't reach out to a male-dominated pharmaceutical industry, be like, I want to coach your team full of men. I would have no shared experience. I wouldn't be the best person for them. So I think just getting to know your client and what they need from you, and just start looking at that. And then coaching, understanding what coaching is versus consulting and mentorship, knowing the differences in that, so you can provide the best service to people. So I would just say, ultimately, just get to know your client and get to know what they need and how you can best serve them.
And speaking of serving women, you just recently launched this new leadership women's program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'd love to. So this has been in the works for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And because I'm so data driven and I want to make sure that I'm providing the best value, I've been speaking at a lot of chamber events, doing a lot of group coaching, and I took the best bits from like tons of different events, and I combined them into a group coaching program that serves women anywhere in the United States or Canada.
Oh my God.
And so I'm so excited. This is a very affordable opportunity for people to get a taste of what executive coaching really is. And if they're new to leadership, get to know the skills that they're going to need to manage people.
Right.
And so it's a 6-month ongoing program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's comprehensive.
You're investing.
Yes, yeah, but it's twice a month. It's recorded sessions. So let's say like you with someone like you were in it, and you're like, I am like on the hunt. I cannot make this call. It's all recorded, and you have access to the coach or somebody moderating the discussion every single day. So you're not going to miss a beat. And that's the goal, to provide that consistency when leadership can feel really disjointed and hard.
Right. And where will our lovely business ladies that's watching this find that leadership program?
Yes, so they can email me, contact@ogdenpeak.com, and I could send them the information, or on my LinkedIn page as well, which is Adrianna Muñoz, and my handle is Adrianna Muñoz Coaches.
Yeah.
So yeah, all that fun stuff. Anywhere online, it's posted there.
Yeah. I love that she gave us her handle.
Oh yeah.
Come through, LinkedIn, come through. So what makes you feel inspired and motivated when you get up in the morning?
Oh,
I know these are so
Yeah.
good. They're so good.
so I think I'll start at the end of the day, which helps me answer your question. Like, the best days I have are days where I'm like run ragged from knowing that I moved the needle and actually helped somebody.
Oh, that's amazing.
So if I go to bed and I knew that I gave it my all and I could actually impact somebody's life really positively that day, that is what helps me feel good. And as a coach, a lot of the work that I do is like shifting the way people view work problems and realizing that they have the help that they maybe need, or figuring out how to ask for the help,
Right.
so they don't feel as alone or stressed. And
Yeah.
that's my favorite part of the job. If I really go to bed and I know that I help somebody, that's what inspires me to do the same thing and work hard the next day too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what has been the biggest guide in your life and the biggest mentor for you?
Ooh, guide, my fails.
Oh, come through, fails.
Yeah, I mean,
We have to have the fails.
they're the best learnings. Like, I
Yeah.
royally stepped in it a few times, and like usually after those situations, like, dang, what could I have done better? And then a motto that I heard recently that really resonated with me is like, fail fast. And it reminded me that like those little failures accumulate into like the one really big win that you need, because it's so easy to walk away from a situation and be like feeling defeated, feeling like you didn't do anything right. But like, those have been my biggest teachers, where I'm like, I didn't have enough confidence in myself. I didn't lean on resources that I had. Like, especially in leadership, you're gonna fail a lot.
Absolutely.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's like, laugh it off, get your team on board with you, and just keep chugging along.
Yeah.
My best mentor, I would say probably the first boss I had when I was in leadership. She was so patient with me, and I had so many questions.
Yeah.
But I think she saw because I just wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Wonderful person. She's out managing like a million different departments in Georgia for a healthcare organization.
Yeah.
She's crushing it. So
Yeah.
she's
I think when a leader or a mentor sees that she's hungry, she wants to know the answers, she wants to do a good job, she's striving to be the best employee that she can be, I think that wall will come down and they will give you all the answers that you're needing.
Yeah.
Or if you're having trouble getting those answers, you can connect with Adrianna. She'll help you figure out a tactic and a way to get through to either your CEO, your CFO, your direct manager, if there's communication. And here's another big thing too.
Absolutely.
How do people like to communicate with you? Is that by email? Is it by text? Is it by phone call? Once you establish how that communication is open, then staying in that lane, so to speak, really will get those answers, get those problems solved, get that line of communication open, and then you're able to get to the meat and potatoes of really what it is that you're wanting to accomplish.
Yeah,
so communication is absolutely. What would be a piece of advice that you'd have for someone starting in your career path?
Get to know your clients and get in front of them. And I think as a coach, I had the same misunderstanding of coaching that I did when I was in leadership, and that's that I needed to have all the answers.
Yeah.
And coaching is not that. Coaching is, I could wear a mentorship hat if you needed me to, but like, we're on a path of discovery together. And so I wish that I would have approached my business the same a few years ago when I was starting, just getting in front of my clients, getting to know what they actually need from me. And I feel like I would have developed a lot more quickly had I acknowledged that I didn't need to know everything. And in leadership, it's the same. You don't need to know everything. The goal is to elicit your team's feedback and getting them to help you along the way too. Shelby
Shelby82B at divvy.com asked, She is wanting to know a better way of public speaking and speaking in front of her staff, so that the message is received that she's trying to get out to her team. What is some of the strategies that you would be able to help a very high profile career woman in that communication to either her higher ups or her team?
Oh my gosh, such a great question. And this is something that we're going to cover in the leadership group, because I do a lot of professional speaking as well. And so I think it starts off with, during those employee one-on-ones, understanding, to your point, how people like to receive communication, but then also how people like to know bad news. That's a question I ask people, like, do you like it straight? If I have something, do you want me to just call you? Do you want me to just, like, how do you like to receive news? Because I want to make sure I don't shock you, because I am going to have to deliver some harsh feedback sometimes. And so I think starting with building the relationship at the bottom level is so helpful. And then for any meeting, this is what I learned from my first boss, getting an agenda out to the whole team, and so they could all follow along what's happening. And that looks like topics in one column, the discussion, and then filling in action items as it goes, and then sharing that live document as the meeting progresses, and recapping it at the very end of the meeting, so people know what their job is moving forward after the meeting. And I say, if people have fear around presenting publicly or not knowing how to organize those goals, take an extra 30 minutes a week to just figure out what your ideal situation looks like, and just run through the meeting a few times with maybe a peer or your family member. I can't tell you how many meetings I ran through with my husband, and he was like, this is overkill, but I'd rather show up over prepared to those situations. So just really getting to know your employees, how they like to be communicated with, and even your boss. An agenda, and then making sure the agenda goes out to everybody, so everybody's on the same page.
Setting that expectation is very important too. Bam, 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 this needs to be accomplished, we need to get through this material, and then the takeaway and the questions and wrap up at the end. Today I was at a cybersecurity event that Corey helped host, and the lady, her name was Natalie Suarez. She was an incredible lady. She travels all over the United States. The biggest takeaway that was funny, being in cybersecurity and AI, she was talking about, was her wrap-up picture. She had a AI generated burrito cut in half. There was no meat. The vegetables did not look real, but the wrap-up and the takeaway was exactly that. It was really interesting to see. She threw in real photos and she threw in AI photos to see if she can stump us, and how gullible in the corporate world are we? And then, we listen to all kinds of things, and, sometimes a woman in business will be targeted as well if she isn't confident, if she isn't on point, if she's not fact checking, if she's not checking that ACH differential. So there are some big things coming to cybersecurity and AI world, and it is a conversation that we've sat in the same room and heard. Be prepared for some of this stuff, and it is simple as the receptionist saying hello, and they recording that 3 seconds of hello. Is this, and then yes. Once you say yes, they'll end the call, because now they have the yes to record and say anything. Oh yes, she said it. Here she is answering the phone. She said yes to that new account, or yes to that ACH. So as women, we are evaluating so many things, especially a lady with children. You're so protective and listening to different people when you're in public scenes or school or any of that. How is that communication? Is it trusting? And so when I watch your videos, you have this trusting energy to all of your content. It's facts, it's help, it's the stuff you need and you're lacking and you're missing. And I just watch sometimes, I'm like, oh my God. And I've been in this business 25 years, and I am still learning, evolving, growing. And the day that I don't, just throw me in the incinerator and get it over with.
Oh my gosh.
What is something about your industry this year that has surprised you?
So one thing I've really loved to see is the allyship that exists between the men in the leadership positions and the women. So I'll see a lot of men at women's networking events, and it's been really cool because they'll like walk up to women and be like, I'm not gonna talk, just tell me about you. I have never seen that ever. And even at any other networking event,
I can give you 45 minutes.
but like they know they're there
Yeah.
to be an ally.
Wow.
And it's really cool. I think there's this intentionality developing around women in male dominated industries where men are realizing that there's not equal representation at the table.
Yeah.
So I mean that is just so heartwarming to see.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, for any man that is doing that, like, hats off to you. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And like
Yeah.
people like, I don't, there's, in feminist, I feel like this word has such a bad connotation. It's not bad. It's
Right.
just about raising people to equal statuses.
Absolutely.
And I think that has been really cool to see in the industry, and specifically
Absolutely.
like tech networking events that I've
Right.
been to, and then a few other like medical field events as well.
Yeah.
That's been really, really interesting.
Talk about
Yeah.
tearing down a barrier. One, I would want to do business with you, or two, I would want to give you a referral.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what we go to networking events
Yep.
to socialize, to network, and
Yeah.
to say, hey, I like you, you like me, let's do business together. Or let me give you, a referral and give me one. And that's good line of communication.
Mhm.
And especially when I'm at Colorado Women's Chambers events, I mean, the caliber
Yeah.
of women in those events and functions are hands down, say less. So we're going to talk about one other topic before we go into my last two final questions that everybody really loves. With your medical background, can you just tell our viewers how important Breast Cancer Awareness Month is of October?
Oh my gosh. So my background is nursing. I've been a nurse for 10 years now, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen people come into the ER where I worked with symptoms that they had been ignoring for a really long time. It is up to you to go into the doctor and advocate for yourself, and if you feel off, please go get checked out.
Yeah.
We want to help you. We want to catch things before things get too late. In the ER, I never want to be finding cancer for the first time.
Yeah.
With breast cancer, please just do those self-exams, go to your doctor, keep an eye on your symptoms. It's unfortunately increasing, and I've had a few loved ones impacted by breast cancer and other types of cancer. There's like this saying, if you see something, say something. Go to your doctor, advocate for yourself, because you are worth advocating for every single time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And ladies, your moms, your employees, your wives, your aunts, your grandmothers, your all of these things, and our schedules are vicious. You need to go to your employer and say, I'm going to take a long lunch, schedule that appointment, and go. Just go. Most of your employers will probably give you the pay just to go, to be vigilant about your health and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So if little Adrianna can go back to her 15-year-old self, what would be the main thing that you would say to get her prepped from where you're at right now?
Oh my gosh. I would say just be confident. I like to joke, I came out of the womb with a people-pleasing certificate. I was a born people pleaser. I was not confident in myself. I thought my ideas weren't worth advocating for. That's so wrong. And so if I could go back and tell my younger self anything, it would be to have confidence in yourself, advocate for yourself, because you're going to be the only one doing that. And your voice matters. Your voice is powerful. It doesn't have to be the loudest in the room, and it still isn't. But I think that there is something to be said about feminine strength and authority, and I wish that I would have known that as a 15-year-old. I think I would have had a very different enjoyment level out of my career so far. I love it now, but
where she's setting at today, she exudes confidence in class, and I just absolutely hands down adore you. Now we're going to switch this up. You're 60 yourself. What would you tell yourself your legacy was?
Ooh.
I know.
So I have this like crazy audacious goal that I want to help 1 million women feel more confident and set boundaries.
That's a great.
I have like a little tracker where I've helped a few thousand people throughout speaking engagements or like through referrals. And so I'm like a percentage of the way there, but if anybody wants to help me move the needle, I'm looking to partner with people where I could reach and help more women feel confident stepping into work. So looking back and being like, dang, I helped 1 million women show up confidently to work. and own it.
Say less.
Yeah. So
say
that's my
less.
that's my goal, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm working towards right now.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think, ladies, we're going to be using Move the Needle quite a bit here lately.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we pick up these amazing things that we use throughout our year, but Move the Needle is new for me. We've got some upcoming announcements. Next week, we're going to have Charlie Stivers. He's the king of crypto on the show. And then finishing out the month of October is Regina Tompelson. She is a incredible real estate agent with Coldwell Banker. She's going to tell us exactly where we're at in the market, what's coming up with the housing shortage, going into the political arena and closing out the year and getting that political stuff behind us, so folks are a little bit more comfortable making big decisions and choices and mortgages and do I want to buy that Lexus or not?
Yeah.
So I just want to take one more story back before we go into Chamber Corner. I recently bought a new vehicle. I got a Hyundai Kona, beautiful rims, just the cutest little black interior. It is my dream car. I wanted it. I had an amazing experience, and it was with a woman who sold me my vehicle. She did the whole process. I was there 45 minutes, took my old car, gave me the keys to my new, walked out. She put my plate on.
Wow.
This was a
Cool.
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I got paid on Friday. I bought her a gift certificate to Starbucks, $50, and a thank you card. I went in there Monday and she was gone. She had left an all-male place of employment, and her friend came up to me as I was walking back out to my car because I asked the manager where she's at. And he said the culture and the environment was not female friendly. Wow. So it broke my heart that she was struggling, but she never let it show during the entire sale process. So for me, what could that woman have benefited with sitting down with you for 30 minutes every 2 weeks? What would have been her shield that she would have developed to combat that?
Yeah.
And we just have to do better.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they let her down.
Yeah.
You know?
It sounds like a loss for that company.
Absolutely. She was
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Just incredible. So that's another really difficult thing that we didn't touch on, though, is when you lose a wonderful employee, a skilled, trained, you invested the money into that woman to work in your business, and you failed her. So it is really, really important that women's voices be heard.
Yeah, and I mean, what a gift that she let the company know what she's leaving for, because a lot of times people don't provide that honest feedback. And I'd be curious to see what that company is doing with that information, because a lot of my coaching is helping women employees women in leadership set boundaries around themselves, but also I could partner with the whole organization and do group coaching and give everybody the same words to use when things get tough. And instead of people being like in different parts of their fields, right? Some people might have a really bad home situation going on. Other people might be having the best day of their lives. Like, but people showing up to work together need to be on the same playing field, and that's what group coaching does. So I would be curious to learn more about that situation and what that company is doing with it, because it's a gift that they know. I just hope that they're using it to advance everything.
Yeah, as soon as that happened, I went in there, I was like, I'm telling Adrianna, this is just like, this is the reason you're doing what you're doing, and it's so important. Chamber Corner, guys, tomorrow, I hope you're gonna be there, is 1445 Connected, the Denver Metro Chamber. You're gonna see Rob behind the bar. It's Oktoberfest. The beer is gonna be amazing. It's all gonna be Oktoberfest, and the food is all gonna be German bites.
Ooh, that sounds great.
So it should be really a great time to connect and network tomorrow at the Chamber, Denver Metro Chamber. And our friends at the West Chamber, they did a really incredible thing. This is the first time I've ever seen this kind of partnering ship. Jeffco, Golden Chamber of Commerce, West Denver Chamber of Commerce, and the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and I'll even show it to you, have come together to do a state of the region. Now we do state of the state with Denver Metro Chamber, but I've never seen multiple chambers, including the Arvada Chamber, all partnering together to bring you the state of the region. Friday, October the 18th at 8 a.m. I will be in the building. That's at Revive Church at the Bridge. Make sure that you're registering. There is still room open, so definitely want to make sure that you're seeing what's going on in our region. South Metro Denver Chamber Convo and cocktails presented by their women's business group. I thought this was exciting because it's October the 30th. It's from 4:45 to 6. There's going to be influential, powerful women in the building, great networking, fun event. A lot of people like to go out and have cocktails after work and meet up and do some networking and some business. And this is something that I want to bring you to as my guest. October the 23rd, the Colorado Women's Chamber of Commerce is having our business breakthrough and leadership and coaching. Ooh. So some of your own colleagues will be in the building. Jen Rekla, and she is a leadership coach and trainer with Rekla Coaching and Consulting. There's going to be networking, there's going to be speaking, there's going to be, of course, delicious appetizers and cocktails. That's from 4:30 to 6 p.m. That is at Hush Blackwell, 1801 Waweta, Suite 1000. Make sure that you're logging on to each of our chambers event sites to see what's going on with upcoming networking events and functions that you want to attend. And you registering is so important because they know how much food to do and how much beverages and so on and so forth, and then they know that you're coming. So we're going to finish out the show with our marketing minute from Odie Smith. Please be aware that this weekend we are going down into the low 30s, yes, 33 degrees on Friday.
Wow.
You will be turning those furnaces on for the first time. Please know if you've not done any maintenance in a year or two, it may not come on. Same thing with the water heater. You wanting to get that checked while we're there doing the maintenance so that it's not bursting in the middle of the night. And just like me, it happened 2 years ago at my apartment. 2 a.m. on a Sunday night, my water heater blew, and it was just a little 50-gallon, but it ruined my entire apartment. They had to redo everything, and I had old antique furniture and beautiful things that are just ruined. So please do your due diligence. Get your maintenance on your furnace, get your water heater looked at, make sure that things are in good repair. And with Hart Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, we're able to do that not only for your home, but for your business, and you're making sure that you're taking care of your family, your staff, your clients, and your customers when they come into your business or your home. My name is Arica Netterville. I am your host here at the Denver Business Beat podcast. My beautiful guest, Adrianna, thank you so much for coming onto the show today.
Thank you.
I absolutely love you to death, and it was great to sit here and connect and be in your energy, and I just am so inspired. I heard you speak at a chamber event about a year or so ago, and I was just in awe of you. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing. And it takes time to get to where you're at. Look at your journey.
Oh yeah, it's twisty turvy, but that's okay. Like, you end up where you need to be if you're following your purpose. So thank you for having me. This was really, really lovely.
Oh, it was lovely. All right, folks, we want you to have an amazing day and take good care. We'll see you next week with Charlie Stivers on the show.